Hello and welcome in our YouTube channel Metallurgical Facts. So this video series is basically for HAL management training exam and this is part 5th of this video series. So this video series is basically for metallurgical engineering question practice, and as you know that exam will be on 24th and 25th April. Okay, so if the situation will be normal, that is COVID-19 situation, so it will be it will held in offline mode, or they may also postpone this exam due to this COVID-19 situation. You cannot sure about the date of exams. Okay, just try to focus on your preparation and try to do the questions as much as you can do before the examination. Okay, so this video series is basically helpful for metallurgical engineering question practice, and also you can use our other playlists for metallurgical engineering question practice so that you may avoid the silly mistakes during the examination. Okay, so now we will try to do the questions in this video. So taking the first question of this video, in the thermodynamics, the law of conservation of energy is expressed in the form of. Okay, so they have given four options, that is zeroth law of thermodynamics. The second one is first law of thermodynamics. The third option is second law of thermodynamics, and the last one is the third law of thermodynamics. Okay, so the question is the law of conservation of energy is also known as. So this is easy question and we can do easily, but we should think about the other options, what we can achieve, what we can learn from the rest of the options which is not correct, and why those are not correct. We should try to learn from those options. Okay, so we will try to learn from these options, and the first option is zeroth law of thermodynamics. So this zeroth law of thermodynamics is known as equilibrium principle. Okay, so this zeroth law of thermodynamics is also known as the law of equilibrium. Okay, or equilibrium principle. The first law of thermodynamics is known as this is well known law, and this is known as the law of conservation of energy principle. Okay, so this is the correct option, and this law is represented by del q is equals to de plus del w. Okay, so this is the mathematical formula for first mathematical representation of first law of thermodynamics. So you can get this also in the upcoming questions. Okay, so this is the first law of thermodynamics is known as the conservation of energy principle. Okay, so the second law of thermodynamics is also known as the law of entropy, the law of entropy. Okay, so the second law of thermodynamics is known as the law of entropy, and the third law of thermodynamics is known as the law of temperature. Okay, so now we know that zeroth law of thermodynamics is known as equilibrium principle or the law of equilibrium. The first law of thermodynamics is known as law of conservation of energy or conservation of energy principle. Second law of thermodynamics is known as law of entropy. Okay, so third law of thermodynamics is known as the law of temperature. So the correct answer of this question is B part, that is first law of thermodynamics is also known as the law of conservation of energy. So the next question is the temperature of the antiferromagnetic to paramagnetic transition is called. Okay, so they are asking about the transition between antiferromagnetic to paramagnetic changes, and they have given four options, that is A, the Curie temperature, B, antiferromagnetic Curie temperature, C, Néel temperature, D, Debye temperature. Okay, so the Curie temperature, we all know that what is Curie temperature. Curie temperature is the temperature uh, where of where a ferromagnetic material or ferrimagnetic, both ferromagnetic and ferrimagnetic material get changed into paramagnetic. So this temperature is known as the Curie temperature. Okay, so whenever we heat the material and that gets changed into ferromagnetic to ferrimagnetic, and ferromagnetic and ferrimagnetic get changed into the paramagnetic, so we say that that is the Curie temperature, and this temperature is a reversible point. Reversible temperature means this is also applying, we can also apply for cooling purpose. Okay, so Curie temperature is not correct option for this question, antiferromagnetic Curie temperature. So this option doesn't make any sense. The third one is Néel temperature. Okay, so we will see Néel temperature. What is Néel temperature? Néel temperature is also known as magnetic magnetic ordering temperature. Okay, magnetic ordering temperature, where antiferromagnetic to paramagnetic changes take place. So at this temperature, Néel temperature, this antiferromagnetic to paramagnetic transition take place. Okay, so the correct option for this question is Néel temperature. And the next option is Debye temperature. So what is the Debye temperature? Debye temperature is the temperature where above this temperature, above this Debye temperature, the material, the heat capacity of the crystal is constant. Okay, and below this temperature, heat constant of the same crystal increases with the cubic of the temperature. So they changes, the heat capacity changes with cubic of the temperature. So this temperature is known as Debye temperature. So we can say that Néel temperature is the correct option for this question. So the next question is, carbonyl process is used for refining. Okay, so there are four options. Some element name is given, that is nickel, chromium, copper, and lead. Okay, so carbonyl process is basically another name of Mons process. You must have heard about this Mons process. So this Mons process is basically used for refining of impure nickel. Okay, so what happens in Mons process is, basically in carbonyl process we use carbon monoxide gases for the refining of impure nickel. So impure nickel will react with this CO, and that will produce nickel carbonyl, that is nickel carbonyl at temperature about 50 to 60 degrees centigrade. And after that, this nickel carbonyl will decomposes in pure nickel. Okay, so this is the whole process in Mons process. Before this video in Gate Metallurgy Practice Series, I already told you in detail about this Mons process, so I'm not going to going into the deep. Okay, so the carbonyl process, Mons process, is basically used for nickel refining. So A option is correct here, and this is the whole process. This is the basic things which is related to Mons process. Okay, so A is correct answer for this question. So the next question is, which of the following metal powders are not produced by atomization technique? Okay, so atomization technique is a technique of spraying a liquid metals into the powder particles. Okay, so this atomization process is also known as a spraying process. Okay, so spraying process and atomization process is same. Okay, so for by this atomization process we can produce many metal powders like Pb, Sn, aluminum, zinc, okay, copper, nickel, like that, Fe steels, you can say Fe and steels both. Okay, so they are asking here that which of the metal powders are not produced. Okay, so steel we can produce through this atomization process, but tungsten and molybdenum, these both are produced by the high purity oxide of these metals by hydrogen reduction process. Okay, so this is the powder metallurgy part. Okay, so and in powder metallurgy part, the size of the products, the size of the powder particle, and the process name is very important. Also, the product which is produced by the powder metallurgy is very important. Okay, so for now here we will say you that this one is correct and this second one is correct. Okay, so one and second option is D part. Okay, so D is correct answer for this question. The next question is, the amount of ferrite in perlite in 0.8% carbon steel at room temperature is. Okay, so for this type of questions I have already given one video, that is application of lever rule in iron carbon diagram. Okay, so for this question we can find that the terminal points for identifying this the amount of ferrite. Okay, so what are the terminal points? That is zero, that they are asking about the room temperature, that may be that we can take at 0 or 0.02, that doesn't matter much. Okay, so this 0.8% carbon steel is given and 6.67. Okay, so they are asking about ferrite, and this is basically the mixture of alpha plus Fe3C, that is ferrite plus cementite. Or you can say that for hypo region we identify pro alpha and perlite. For hyper region we find the pro cementite and perlite. So for having good idea about this numerical type of questions, go through our physical metallurgy playlist and watch that video of application of lever rule. Okay, So here I will tell you only the how to calculate the amount of ferrite by this carbon percentage. Okay, so if you want to identify this W alpha, that is amount of ferrite, that this is basically the fraction. Okay, if we will multiply it by 100, we will get it into the percentage. So W of alpha is equals to, see, we have to identify this region, so we will take the opposite arms, that is 6.67 minus 0.8 by 6.67 minus 0. Okay, so this will be approximately equals to 0.88%, and that if we will multiply it by 100, we will get something 88%. Okay, and more than that 88%. Okay, so for this question, from this option we can identify that 88.7% is correct for this question. So A is correct answer for this question. Thank you guys for your attention. Hope you have understood something new in this video, and you have understood the concepts I told you in this video. We will come with some more videos in this video series. Try to do the practice of mathematical questions with this practice series, and try to share these videos with your friends so that they may also practice the questions for the HAL management training exam. Thank you.